Happy with the win the other day, but not, certainly a lot of things we can clean up and got to improve from game one to game two, but I'm more pleased with how we won. And with the you find out a lot about your team and, from the standpoint of facing adversity early, what we had talked about during the week, when they go down and score the first drive, and then we were able to answer, and whether they were able to throw the ball around and complete, do a great job in their throwing game early in the game, but yet we were still only down by 6 at halftime. Okay, and the kids didn't panic, and the coach staff didn't panic, and we were able to make some adjustments and come back in the second half and get some stops, and then how we scored, scoring on defense, scoring on punt return, and then putting the game away, running the football and eating some time up on the clock and avoiding the turnovers in the second half and being able to, like I said, finish the game out. That's what I was most pleased about. I mean, a win's a win, and you certainly take a lot of appreciation of that. But how the team did it, has to be our strengths. We have to be a three-headed monster. Offense, defense, special teams, and play off of each other, and we did that. And I was very pleased for the kids.
Talk about the confidence boost to a game like that gives you running out of the gate.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, considering what we dealt with last year, it was great. Those are games. That's how we've won a bunch of games around here, is playing good defense and it's playing good scoring defense. Okay, not letting them score in the second half, holding them to 20 points. Being able to make adjustments. First game of the year, lined up in different fronts than what we practiced, and be able to make some sideline adjustments and get to some different schemes to give us some success. So seeing our team make sideline adjustments and running some schemes that we haven't majored in during camp, because we hadn't necessarily seen those conducive looks from a quarterback standpoint. I mean, I know John statistically, he'll have a lot better games than that, but making a couple big touchdown throws and standing in there and taking the throwing into the teeth of the rush and not flinching and then being able to take off and make a couple plays with his legs. He's just a competitor when the lights come on. He just he kind of wills himself to give us a chance to compete. And there's things that just like the rest of the team where he made some mistakes, and hopefully we can clean those up going forward. But I was pleased from the standpoint I thought he managed the game in some situations. He made a couple plays, and he managed the game when he had those opportunities.
Now, obviously, the challenge this week is, we all know what it is.
Certainly.
What does this kind of game mean for the kids?
They're excited. I mean, we've got a lot of, I don't know what we've got, 12, 13, 14 Florida kids, so they're excited to go back home to their home state. So get to go back to a region of the country where we don't play ever. I guess maybe South Florida years ago. I guess we went down. So that's exciting for our Florida kids. It's exciting to play an SEC, SEC venue. And then you put on top of that, it's probably one of the top 10 teams, maybe 5 teams in the country. Okay, so certainly with the talent level, and you watched them play the other night, and obviously I've seen it on tape against Miami. So a lot of good players, a lot of good coaches. And you're playing in a hostile environment, so we'll have fun with it. I'm sure the kids are looking forward to it.
Have you talked to anyone down in Florida about,
No.
about the hurricane that's off the coast?
No, I have not. And I of course, I won't have any say in any of that kind of stuff. Obviously, we hope everybody's okay and safe, and that they still get to get to play the game. But my first experience with any of this kind of stuff, and they tell me to get on the plane on Friday, we'll be there. If not, then I guess we'll get a good practice in this weekend.
You guys the last couple of years have opened with either a big boy or
Yeah.
somebody below you.
Yeah.
Do you have a better feel of what you are right now than maybe in years past?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, a couple years ago we went to Ole Miss when was it in 17. We opened up with a lower level team and won handedly, but didn't play real good and didn't really know what we were until the first half of that Ole Miss game. So no, I think so. And when you win, it's a great thing, because the confidence, you get the win, the confidence comes with it, and then you learn a lot about your team. When you don't, then you say, oh my goodness, now we still got to go to Florida this week. And it can kind of backfire on you, because then you get ready for conference and there's doubt because the winds hadn't mounted yet, and it's hard to kind of stay the course. There's been some years where we did stay the course and got back in the conference race, And there's been some years, well, last year we weren't able to overcome that. And so, because sometimes confidence can carry you a long way. It's done that for several years around here. And it's a lot easier to get the wins early and hang on than it is to find it, in the middle of the year, certainly.
Obviously, everything about Florida is huge and is what they bring and what the challenges to your guys. But maybe more so than any group, your offensive line is really going to have its hands full. They had 10 sacks in their first
They did,
game.
no doubt.
So talk a little bit about that.
Could have had more. Could have had more. I told somebody the other day, they won't get 10 against us because we'll just hand it off, the last 40 plays of the game if that's what happens. But no, they're good and they're well coached and they got difficult schemes and so they've got good players and so yeah. But that was kind of the running joke. We won't tie that record because we'll just just keep handing it off on those third downs.
Just one game, but Multama with his pair of interceptions and had a
Yeah.
third one that got called off because of the penalty at the
Yeah.
end of the half. I mean, is that a sign of things to come, you think, with him?
We hope. Wanye played last year as a redshirt freshman, and and there was some good, but there was also some growing pains as well. And then the other night, I think he'd be the first one to tell you he gave up one on the first third down. We were in blitz zero coverage, and he used very good technique, and they caught the big first down on him. And then down here, they caught the little skinny post for a touchdown. And what I was proud of him was he has the ability to make those plays, but mentally to be able to have a short-term memory as a DB, knowing that somebody made a play on you and being able to forget it and move on and still play at a high level and make the plays when they came to it. I was very pleased with that. And that's maturity that you're looking for from a player, and hopefully that will continue not only for him but for the rest of the team as well. But Wanye is a hard worker. He's a good teammate, so real happy for him.
And great special teams play too,
Yeah.
especially on defense guys. So
Yeah.
let's talk about those return guys and what do you expect from them, what you've seen and what do you like so far?
Peyton Logan's been doing it for several years now. Of course, he didn't really get an opportunity, and Terry came on the scene last year. It's kind of funny. Of course, the offensive guys are, one of the first things they're going to ask is there any way we can get Peyton Logan off and Peyton Logan and Terry off of special teams? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's one of the best offensive plays that we have. And so those guys can excel at that. And the whole unit did a good job. And I guess Terry kind of, the one he picks up and just what a great play. And, we have a lot of confidence in him. He should have fair caught that last one. He's trying to do too much. And luckily we were able to get the ball back, or they got the penalty. But, no, it was a bright side on, we blocked or got a hand on a PAT, okay? Even though it went through, we got a hand on, but then he misses another one. And once you get to that 6-point lead instead of a 7-point lead, there's a little bit of lift on you. And I bet you go back and look at games of teams that we've blocked a PAT or they missed a PAT, how many we've come back and won, because you just kind of, it's not, oh, we got to score to tie, right? It's, oh goodness, we score, we take the lead again. There's a little mental lift that comes with that. And then, we rush 3 guys on a punt return, and we get we block a punt, and it gives you a short field there. Had a couple penalties on kickoff return, and I was disappointed, but, unfortunately those things are going to happen. But with our return unit, do you just fair catch it, take it 25, or do you see if they can get you to the 35 or even farther than that? We'll kind of continue to weigh the risk reward of that, but it's hard not to let you bring it out because we think those 2 guys, they may not be the fastest, but they got great vision and they're tough, and if you give them a little crease, they can get you in some good field position.
Coach, I think you played 13 new players, started 3 newcomers, and even had a true freshman, Landers, on defensive line play a lot. How did you see those newcomers come in and fill those positions for you?
Alex, I counted up before the game, to where if you looked at it on paper, we were returning 4 starters on defense that's, not counting TJ and Sherrod, even though they started a couple games. But based on 9 games, 10 games last year, there's only 4 returning starters on defense and 5 on offense. And that was the 3 receivers and 2 offensive linemen, because G-Way started the tailback last year. So, your 9 returning starters on both sides of the ball is one way to look at it. You're playing a team that was returning 17, so that was obviously a concern. But I thought we handled it well. That's that's a credit to our staff and to the kids we recruited. You plugged in new guys and new faces, and playing Malcolm at the right tackle and Aries at the at the guard, and Newsom moving to center. After we on Monday, one of our center decided he didn't want to play anymore, and so having to make those do those musical chairs during the week, and those guys to be able to, and they didn't play great, but they showed some flashes of some good things. So I was pleased with that. Secondary, there's some things we can do to be even better. We gave up a lot, but there was also but I thought we tackled well in the secondary. I mean, even though they had the balls coming out quick and there was a couple seams, when we got there, it was a collision, and those things start. Those receivers remember that, and we're able to get them down at the spot. Wasn't a whole lot of run after the catch, on some of those little throws they were making. So, and that was a good quarterback. That guy complete balls against whoever they played, and they have a good scheme. And they snapped it 90-something times against us. So, new guys being able to play with against that type of tempo and keep their focus for that long and not give up those scores in the second half. I think that was a great platform to learn from and move on, for the rest of the season.
Try not to look too much into depth charts and ors sometimes.
Right.
John Dresser was the or for quarterback for week 1, and now it's just John. Is that
right? That's how we'll go into this week, and met with Dresser yesterday, and what a great teammate, what a great person and young man. Him having the red shirt, and I'll tell you exactly what I told him is that we're very fortunate. We got 3 guys that we think they can play. I thought John performed very well in the spring and very well in fall camp, and there's some things that he does that brings a spark to our offense. And so with that, I didn't think anybody outplayed him in camp, and that's why he got the start. And so that gives us a luxury of hey, if something happens, Dresser, you could start the next 10 games. We could hold you to a conference play and play in 4, so keep the red shirt, but still a long way to go. A long way to go before we're settled at that position. But John will start again this week.
from playing, I guess, psychologist as I know it's part of your job ultimately,
Certainly.
and when you get into situations like that, is every all those conversations different in their own way, just depending on who's sitting across the table from
No
you?
doubt. I mean, no doubt. And you care for those kids. JoJo's a senior. He wants to play, and understandably. And I think his opportunity. I think he'll have an opportunity at some point, whether it be this week or in weeks to come, because he brings a certain skill set to us. He's a little bit more dynamic with his legs. Then you got Dresser played for us as a true freshman, came in and gave us a spark and allowed us to get to winning season and compete there in the OVC. Then he gets hurt and had some ups and downs last year, but more ups, especially in the MTSU game, and was playing fairly well in the EIU game when he got hurt. But John's a redshirt freshman that's talented, and he wants to play as well. So it's a good group. They compete with each other. They seem to be supporting each other well. And like I said, I think over a period of time, things will work itself out, and the guy that can move the football will stay in there and give us a chance each week. And if that, in 3 weeks we may say, hey, we're going this direction, but right now we've kind of got a direction, and that's where we're going.
Have you been able to keep that from being a distraction with the team?
Yeah, and it's credit to those kids. I mean, I don't in practice, but because you guys aren't here every day, so the team knew who was getting the first team reps, okay? And in camp, you can't really split them in threes. You just can't, okay? And then once you get to the week of game day, it's kind of 70-30 for us, okay? So there was no doubt. The kids all knew, the team knew who was going to get the start. And, so I'm pleased with it. And if it stays that way, then Dresser can continue to rehab the shoulder, okay? Because he hasn't taken a hit on it since last year. And then, he's that much better as maybe a fifth-year senior, more developed, or even next year more developed. So, a long way to go, and his job is to stay ready to his time is called.
Aside from staying healthy, making sure the check cashes, what's the third most important thing on this trip Saturday?
You can get something, out of these games. It's our first time to travel. All these new guys. It's our first time to be in a hotel together, to get on a plane together. You got to win. You got to win the travel. okay? Those things benefit you the next week when we got, even though it may be a bus next week going up to, Carbondale, that's coming, okay? How you do pregame, how you you do pregame warm-ups, all those things help your football team, and then of course the game will unfold so many different ways. I've been in some close ones, and I've been in some where not so close, and each one of them you're still can draw from those experiences the next several weeks, and that's the goal. We got to make sure that we do that, no matter easy when you play well, okay, but if things don't go your way, playing a very talented team, is your team still growing, because we got a lot of football left.